A disappointing loss for Alabama tonight, 23-21 against Oklahoma. And I'm going to tell you guys during this video why I am not just totally freaking out about this loss tonight. Because at the end of the day, it sucks that Alabama lost this game tonight. But there were things you could have done in this game that would have won you tonight's game. But it's not the end of the world because, like I'll explain here during today's video, you still got a shot to make it into the college football playoffs. But before we get into that today, if you missed our Alabama versus Oklahoma watch party, what are you doing? We had an incredible time. We had an incredible audience with us tonight. So do not miss out. Hit that sub button. We got videos for you guys all season and off season long as well. Transfer portal is going to be coming up here in just about a month or so as well. So we'll have transfer portal videos for you guys, whether that's targets or candidates, and we'll still be live for every single Alabama watch party. So do not miss out. Hit that sub button and join the community here at the Alabama Football Report. All right, takeaway number one. The turnovers just absolutely killed you tonight. Really, they are the reason why you ended up losing this game tonight. You know, Ty Simpson, while he wasn't great, this wasn't his best performance of the season, did have the pick six at the beginning of the game and did have that fumble, which makes now 5 games in a row where Ty Simpson ended up having a fumble. And, you know, it's still only 6 turnovers for Ty Simpson this season. You know, we can freak out. We can talk about, you know, the fumbling issue that Ty Simpson has had this season. I put it in quotes because, you know, you can go back to last season. It's still better than what Jalen Milroe was able to do for you at the end of the day. It sucks that Alabama ends up losing this game. Let me just do the math real quick off the top of my head here. You know, you had the pick 6, so that's 7 points. You had the, you know, fumble with the Ryan Williams fumble. That ended up being 3 points, and I think they even got 3 more points there from the Ty Simpson fumble. So in total, you're giving up 13 points off turnovers. You know, at the end of the day, that's what ended up losing you the game. So turnovers were killers in this game. We said that that was going to be a key to victory for Alabama today, and Oklahoma coming into this game, you know, they were -5 on the turnover differential, and Alabama just, you know, wasn't able to take care of the football, and that was really why they ended up losing this game tonight. So grade Alabama's performance against Oklahoma, A, B, C, D, or F, down at the pinned comment of today's video. I'm going to give it a C. You know, the offense still, you know, played pretty decent. You had 406 total yards outside of the turnovers there. The defense actually played pretty well as well. You know, just, you know, some key moments in this game ended up losing you the game. So let me know how you guys feel. You can overreact. You can say it's a D or an F if you want. Be honest with me. Let me know down at the pinned comment of today's video. Takeaway number 2, really the 2 things, the reason why Alabama lost today. Turnovers killed you, and Conor Talty ended up missing the, you know, really chip shot field goal right before halftime here. And, you know, I don't really want to kill Conor Talty. It was a high snap, you know, ended up really kind of, you know, getting him kind of, you know, out of rhythm there. But, you know, when you talk about field goal kickers, really good field goal kickers, great field goal kickers, they're able to overcome, you know, some of those things. And Kalen DeBoer even said it in his post-game press conference. You know, the snap, the snap was high, but the hold got down. You got to be able to adjust and make that. It was like a 34, 37-yard attempt, something like that. You got to be able to make that field goal, man. I don't really care if the snap is high. Conor Talty was bitching at the snapper there. Yeah, the snap was high, but you got to be able to make that kick. And that just continues this stretch of you know, Conor Talty kind of inconsistency for Alabama. We said during the buildup of today's show, during our pregame show, we even said during our you know, preview for this game tonight that it could come down to field goal kickers. And if Conor Talty ends up making that field goal, you end up winning the game. But at the end of the day, if you don't turn the ball over as many times as you did, you also still win the game. So I don't want to put it all on Conor Talty, but, you know, if you end up hitting that field goal right before halftime, you do win the game. And it was a chip shot. A high snap should not be the reason why you end up missing a field goal. And it was blocked as well, but I still think, you know, the rush was coming right up the center, and it was blocked from the, if you're looking straight on from behind Conor Talty, he was blocked on the left side of the ball. It still missed left. So I still think the kick was going to be wide left, regardless of that. And it's been an issue for Conor Talty so far this season. So, when you're talking about field goals, he was, 5 for 8 from 40 to 49. That one was inside 40, and he ended up missing that one as well. So field goal kicking continues to be a problem for this Alabama team. All right, we'll continue with some more takeaways here in just a second. But first, today's show is brought to you by Prize Picks. Hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks, and the weather might be changing right now, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. This is what producer Aiden put together for the power play today. We went with Germie Bernard, more than receiving yards for him at 63.5. He had 71, so that one hit. Went with John Mateer, more than 26.5 rushing yards. At the end of the game, he ended up only having 23, Aiden. There was a point in this game where he had 30 and, a couple of, sacks and a couple of TFLs ended up hurting him there. So the less than ended up hitting there. And Ty Simpson only had 1 touchdown today. So, whether we went with the power play or the flex play, this one did not hit for us today. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning that you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. If you want more than on Josh Allen, pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns, now you can pick all of them in the same lineup only on Prize Picks. Prize Picks, by the way, the best way to win cash this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones are overhyped? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cold, hard cash all season long on Prize Picks. So download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That link's going to be down in the comments section and the description of today's video. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All right, takeaway number 3 for this game tonight. The defense, I thought actually played well. I don't think there's really anything from the defense when you consider the fact that you had 3 turnovers in this game. I thought they played pretty damn well. Oklahoma in this game only had 217 yards. You did a pretty decent job. They had under 100 yards rushing in total. They were 3 for 13 on third downs. You were able to control the time of possession. I don't think there's really anything you can complain about, overall when it comes to this Alabama defense tonight. John Mateer was 15 of 23, 138 passing yards tonight. Didn't have a touchdown passing, didn't have an interception. Maybe if you want to complain about the fact that Alabama wasn't able to get turnovers in this game, I guess you can complain about that. But they did a good job, just controlling the game in the pass game, and they held Oklahoma to only 79 rushing yards in this game. So just, they weren't able to get really any, pressure on John Mateer today. I think they had 2 sacks in this game tonight. But overall, man, the defense did their job. When you consider also the fact that at the beginning of the game, you gave up a punt return that got Oklahoma down to the 30-yard line. You only gave up a field goal on that as well. So I'm not going to put this on the defense at all. The offense just really wasn't able to, control the game because of those turnovers. So shout out the defense. I thought they played good enough for Alabama to be able to win this game. So what is your one-word reaction to the loss versus Oklahoma? Disappointing is mine, but let me know what you guys think down in the comment section of today's show. I'm going to say at this point in the season, I just think Daniel Hill is better than Jam Miller. I know that Jam has dealt with, multiple injuries so far this year. He had the broken collarbone at the beginning of the season. He ended up getting knocked out of the game. I think it was the Missouri game. That he had that concussion. But Daniel Hill, man, just continued to give him the rock. Had 15 carries tonight for 60 yards, averaged over 4 yards per carry. There were multiple times where they lined him up, kind of in the wildcat tonight, had 2 rushing touchdowns. Alabama tonight, 33 carries for 80 yards, still not able to break that 100-yard mark. But, Jam Miller, 9 more carries for only 27 yards, 3 yards per carry for him. I think you just got to continue to ride Daniel Hill as your number one running back at this point. I know a lot of people really do like Jam Miller, but you got to go with a hot hand. And right now, Daniel Hill is the hot hand. So I just think, he's the best shot when it comes to running the football for this Alabama team. I actually thought they had some pretty good creases. So, in this game tonight at times, but, the consistency there overall, I thought the offensive line, didn't play awful against, one of the best defenses in college football. I think we do have to take that into consideration as well. Oklahoma is one of the best defenses in college football. Let me just scroll up here to my notes here. Number 7 in the country in scoring offense, only giving up 14 points per game. They were leading the country coming into this game in both tackles for loss and with 97, and they were third in the country in sacks with 33. They only allowed, 7 out of 19 in red zone attempts this season going for a touchdown. So, you do also have to take into consideration this Oklahoma defense is very, very good. But I think Daniel Hill got to be your number one running back as of right now. Number 5 reaction to this game tonight. You're still not out of it. I went through a bunch of different types of scenarios in the, SEC championship, tiebreaker scenario website that they got right here with Alabama losing. Doesn't really matter if Georgia or Texas ends up, winning or losing tonight. If Texas beats Texas A&M in the last week of the season, all you really got to do is beat Auburn. So that, it sucks. It definitely sucks that Alabama ended up losing this game tonight, but you're still not out of it. And I still do want to win the SEC championship game. There's a lot of people down in the chat that were, saying that, they don't even want to go to the SEC championship game. I think that's kind of crazy. I think you go to the SEC championship game, you end up winning that no matter who you play. I think Georgia, Texas A&M still have opportunities to make it to the SEC championship game. But, if you beat Auburn in the last week of the season, you still got a shot to make it into the college football playoffs. And, I might be wrong, I might be crazy, but I think the most you drop down to in the college football playoff rankings is probably like number 9, number 10, something like that. So you're definitely still in it right now. If you beat Auburn in the last week of the season, you are not out of it. It sucks that you end up losing this game tonight. You can't go 3 for 3 and get back games this season. You beat Tennessee, you beat Vanderbilt. This season. Those were 2 out of the 3 teams that you lost to last year. Oklahoma, 2 seasons in a row now, you end up losing to them. And by the way, this is also the first loss at home for Kalen DeBoer since he was hired. But I'm not tripping because you still have a path to the college football playoffs, and really all you got to do, win the cupcake game next week and, end up beating Auburn. And, that's no easy, game either. I know we all love to, bash Auburn, talking about the fact that they had to, fire Hugh Freeze this year, but they still, if I'm not mistaken, they got like 30th ranked scoring defense in the country. It's in Jordan-Hare Stadium, so that is going to be a tough game. But, Alabama's still sitting in a pretty good spot to, possibly make it to the SEC championship game. And if you don't make it to the SEC championship game, I still don't really see a world where if you beat Auburn, you miss the college football playoff. So it sucks that you end up losing it, but, you are still not out of it right now.